You're listening to Houseology Live.
Houseology Live.
Houseology Live.
Houseology Live.
Houseology Live.
Houseology Live on Humble House Radio.
Welcome, Jason, the son of James, the grandson of James Brown. You are moving and grooving, man, right now. I mean, it's in your blood, to move and groove, but let's just jump right in. So you have Laidback Luke doing a collaboration on I Got Soul Super Bad, which is iconic James Brown song. I mean, that started with you jumping in his DMs, right? Like, explain how a Laidback Luke remix
Well,
comes
really,
about.
I was sending music to UMG,
Okay.
and they were like, "It's good that you're doing stuff, but you might want to attach yourself to a big name." And so
Okay.
that put me on the launch pad to just be like, UMG's behind me now, and so it took a while, but I flooded DJs DMs that I like. It was just amazing that it was actually Luke, because he was somebody that I would actually go to see. You
Yeah.
know, um, Never met him, but I'm so happy that I did, because he actually put me on in a way that some DJs would just do the track with you, or they would just be like, it's my remix. But
Yeah.
he ended up doing the I Got Soul one that got dropped on Dim which is Steve Aoki's label.
Yes.
And then he ended up remixing my remix that's going to get dropped on Universal on this Friday.
Very cool. I saw you had Redux Saints on there too. Like, do you get to choose some of the remixers, or is it was like, all
The
right,
creative
I
is all up to me. It's just if Universal likes it or not. If they think that this is the lane we want to go.
yes.
Whatever sounds the best, really.
Very cool. So do you get like open access to James Brown's catalog, or how does that roll with you being, fam?
Well, pretty much. I mean, I can, in regards to Universal, they have a deal with they had a deal with my granddad before he died, that they would buy some of his masters, not all of them, but some songs they purchased some of the hits,
Yeah.
and so until it all terminates back, they're just gonna make remixes. But it's just now the fact that it's kind of been my time, and I kind of chose to kind of jump into it. And so, like I said, I was sending them remix after remix after remix, and then once it got to the point where, I had some big names that were trying to collaborate with me, then they kind of got the message. And
I
so,
see.
yeah, I mean, I can get almost every song clear. Not every song is owned by they have the rights to, or stuff like that, but it has to be published and go through the family. So, and our partner, Primary Wave. So
Your partner who?
we're partnered with Primary Wave.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. Um,
So
s-
what I have to ask the question if I could.
yeah, go for it.
Um, what what makes you choose a certain track? Because I'm sure that you have a good collection that the family allows access to. So what's making you decide which ones you want to remix?
I just like pretty much going down the ones that I like first, and so I can't say that I like all of Granddaddy's songs. He published, I think, like 5,000 of them or something like that. Or maybe that's an exaggeration. I think maybe 5,000 or 1,500. I know it's got a five in it, but anyway,
I mean, the hardest working
he's got a
man in
lot, and so
Hollywood.
you just can't know all of them. He did it for 5 decades. So it's mainly the hits, usually. So if you think about it, if it was a hit back then, or before there was Billboard, there was the R&B charts, and he has most like 17 or like 15 R&B charts or something like that. He's got a lot. And so a lot of those songs were hits. They just weren't top Billboard or whatever. But Yeah, it's mainly the hits or tracks that were in movies, ones that people recognize so that it's sellable, you know?
Okay, so I have to ask the question because he had quite a few platinum records that went out there. With
Hmm.
these remixes that you're doing, are you shooting for platinum? I mean, I think everybody is, but are you hoping that at least one of them hits platinum?
I'm actually hoping that the one that I just put out with my granddad and me doing Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud, the Afro House version, gets nominated for a Grammy and wins a Grammy.
Heck yeah.
Because the same UMG team, they put together the Kaytranada and Mariah Carey remix that went big on TikTok. You know,
Mhm.
don't let it, don't let it, don't let it go. And
Yeah.
so that 5 seconds got it nominated for a Grammy, you know? So outside of that, I'm just with the right team and all this kind of stuff and the good music, I think we have a chance.
I mean, Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud is like cultural movement. It's a staple in not only Black history, but history in itself, So this is, for you to be able to touch something like that and re-bring this legacy back up, this is something that you've been pioneering for with your movement and EDM. What made you choose EDM and house and Afro house and tech house? What made you go this route versus like funk and soul or
Well, to backpedal, funk and soul is something that he is. So
yeah,
I can't recreate it. You know, it's kind of disrespectful. I just recreate him and stay in my lane. And so I've been DJing. My lane has been playing electronic music. I own a desert camp festival
yes.
that we do out in LA and up in Lancaster. Actually, it's an hour north of LA in the desert, and we rave it all night. I'm actually a raver. I would go to festivals and stuff like that. So you know, and then when you think about his his structure of music, it's on the one. And it's only a 1 2 3 4 in electronic music all the way until you start getting into drum and bass. But uh the music, the repetitiveness, it's all there. And hip hop, I mean, we don't even got to touch hip hop. It's like he's already been used in hip hop, legally and illegally, so it's just like
Yeah.
I don't even, and electronic music it puts him in the future, which leads to some other projects that I want to do, you know.
I love that for you, man. I love that for you. It's a good choice, especially that you're a raver. I love to hear that. I
Mhm.
also know you got an after
Well, I
hours
used to
too.
be. I'm 35 now, so I'm just,
Hey,
Oh,
man.
there's no age
Hey, man.
discrimination. I'm
None.
35 too, and I still rave.
Yeah.
yeah. I don't rave. I'll be honest with you. I'll go out I'm Hollywood when it comes to that. I only want to go out if it's backstage or if I'm meeting somebody, and I don't stay the whole time. It's like, let's make the connection.
Yeah.
I'll have a drink or two. If I'm really liking it, I'll stay. But I'm more than likely not staying to the end. I'll just like to meet somebody and then get on the phone in a little bit and make a deal. Honestly.
Yeah, I don't rave either. I guess that's the whole terminology. And you will
Mhm.
not catch me out there with my Wook hood on and doing all the things that everybody likes to do during that time. If I'm not holding a VIP bracelet or artist or all access pass, it's like, what am I even here for? The bathroom's
Right.
gross.
Yeah.
I'm 35. I have extra out pieces of layers to my outfit that needs more than just a porta potty to change out of, change
I couldn't
into.
imagine being a lady in a porta potty. Oh my goodness.
It's not fun. It is not fun, especially when you go there with tights on and then all of a sudden you get too hot. You're like, I got to take these things off. How am I supposed to do that in a porta potty?
Yeah, I
Oh,
couldn't imagine it. Kudos to the ladies. They're stronger than the guys are.
Thank you.
yes. You got anything else, Danielle?
No, I mean the one thing that I was going to say is exactly what you were asking about with the funk, because I know that there's some when I was listening to the remix and Instagram's dropping these algorithms into my page every day, and it came about where you were with Carl Cox and that remix that I had gotten the snippet of, it sounded a little groovy and I really liked it. So I'm excited to hear what you come up with, but I wanted to ask you, how did you find your sound?
My sound is my granddad's sound, just in the future. So, I think if it's got a pulse and it's something that a young generation will gravitate to, because I essentially want them to go to the original, so
I love
that's my
that.
goal, is to continue his legacy. And the music is it, right? That's he's lasted this long, he'll last longer, especially if the family pushes it. So like, you look at the Marley family, you look at the Jackson family, they're always going to push their icons, right? And some of them are already icons themselves, so the legacy is living through it and following through it. And it really becomes more of a branding business. But that's what it's really about. Like, that's my sound. My sound is putting my granddaddy in anything relevant, futuristic, modern, new, everything. Everybody's got a sound for it. He's already the most sampled artist ever, so it's not gonna hurt.
I love that, man. Look, what about speaking to who Jason Brown is? Do you have anything that you're working on that's going to be pushing your name, your artistry? I know James Brown is an icon, and of course, it's going to be great to push his name, but we're going to want to at some point know who Jason Brown is. And do you have a motion for that maybe in the future?
Not really, my man. I'm more of a behind the scenes guy. Like I said, I went to film school, so you won't catch me out trying to be, like I said, I'm in and I'm out. I'm trying to do business. I'd rather just sit back and watch it all come together and delegate, to be honest with you. I consider myself the label itself,
Okay.
because I see it from all angles. I see it from having to reflip catalogs, someone wanting to buy your catalog, so not my catalog, but my granddad's catalog, my family's catalog, so it's a different view. And so um, I have my own, business with doing depositions and stuff like that. So I film, depositions, and uh, it's, that's a thing that's just making money, right? But my passion is my legacy, honestly.
I love that, man. Do you have any? I know you did film school and you graduated from SCAD. Are you planning on doing any video film work for any of the remixes or anything like that?
Yeah, so the whole goal is for my cartoon. I wrote a cartoon where Granddaddy's a superhero, and he uses his samples, being the most sampled artist, to go and save the world. But since he's also the first black man in America to have a private jet, the private jet helps him as a time machine to go into the past and in the future. So it's like an Aladdin,
Magic carpet jet.
Batman type of project. I can send you guys the sizzle. If you haven't seen it on my Instagram, you can scroll down. I got like pieces of it on there. But that's ultimately what the music is for. It's to have music, put it into this new rendering of who James Brown is, because he's gone, right? And so you have to think of ways to resell him, so that it all makes sense on the business side of things. And the cartoon is the only way, right? And so people want to do the hologram and shit like that. That's cool, but you still got to have the futuristic music to make it relevant. Like, the sound is great. You can master it all you want, but it's still dated in regards to what we listen to today.
It's
Wow,
funny that
man.
you say this about the comics because you're trying to target a specific audience, and a lot of the EDM music came about in the background of gaming. And so it's neat to see that you're now making it into something that is entertaining. You're getting other generations, so then they're going to grow up hearing your music, and they're going to say, "Oh yeah, that's yet another generation of new music that goes into multiple generations for years to come." So I think that's amazing, and it's cool that you're using your music. And I'm assuming that when you zip to the future, it's your version of those songs remix that you're having as making cameos in those cartoons. So I can't wait
Yeah,
to. I'm definitely going to check it out.
yeah, it's like it'll be a sync deal already mapped in, So it just it's like I said, it's a business, and it's an honor at the same time. It's not easy, I get told no from UMG, Primary Wave all the time, but that's because it's my life, it's their job. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's coming from a different angle.
Wow, man. This is all great news. I definitely please send us the sizzle. I'd like to add it into when we snip up the interview and put that in. That'd be really cool to see.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you.
I know you worked on just a quick backtrack to your
Mhm.
film and SCAD. You worked on Get On Up, the biopic. What was your job inside of that?
It was mainly I was just like a PA in the office. Like I was like a specialty PA consultant, because uh I had a film background, so I wanted to work on set. And I started off in the office, but I was more useful on set, And so it was a great thing working with Chad. It was great working with Jill Scott. It was great working with Dan Aykroyd. Sorry, babe. Doing an interview. Sorry. Uh, yeah, it was great working with Chad. It was great working with Jill Scott, Dan Aykroyd. Mick Jagger produced the film, and Brian Grazer. So it was like a Hollywood film, but it was shot in Mississippi. So a great experience. It was like a small town. We all got to hang out when we were done because it wasn't nothing else to do. We only wanted to hang out with everyone from the movie
Yeah.
set. But we all obviously were like vibing with the locals because we were at local bars all the time or going to the local movie theater or at the gym. So real small places. We're all just seeing each other everywhere. So it was a fun time. It felt like summer camp.
Ah, that's cool, man. That really probably gives you a really good perspective on Hollywood, you know, being behind the scenes like that, seeing how it works.
It was
Uh,
very surreal. It was very surreal seeing somebody dress up as your grandfather and they're calling him Mr. Brown all the time. Um it was business, but it was emotional too. It
mm.
was spiritual, but it was like get back to work, you know. so,
I
so
mean, do you expect anything less from, again, the hardest working man in Hollywood? His legacy is you better get to work.
yeah, hardest working man in showbiz. I mean, no, it was a fun experience. Rest in peace to Chad, and it was great working with everybody that was on that film.
Awesome. Awesome, man. Just to touch base on your DJing, I see you DJing out. You were just in Miami. You're out in LA. Are you seeing the younger generation like clicking when you're there and you then all of a sudden they hear some James Brown remixes? Do you see the connection in
Not
real
yet.
time?
Not yet. I would say the younger generation uh, has a bit more selling to do. You have a bit more appealing to do, and uh, it's not many people have really worked on my grandfather's catalog. Let's put it like that. Out of all the entities that wanted to own a piece of them or have pieces of music and stuff like that,
Hmm.
uh, you know, it's like I said, it's their job, not necessarily their passion or their life. Like, how they really want to see it in the end. They're working on all these artists that they have, their whole catalog, not just the catalog of somebody, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So when you walk in, you see a big picture of, at one point, this was a few years ago. I won't say this now, but at one point, there was just a big LED screen of Drake's streams and the number of streams that he's got. So that's all they care about. It's the streams. Not all they care about, but that's what drives her to write about now these days.
I see. And
Do
you're
you think
definitely making
being
waves.
do you think being in Houston makes a difference for you in the music scene, or does the music scene understand EDM?
No, to be honest with you, Houston is a help. Any place outside of the super happening areas. You know, don't get me wrong, Houston is popping, right? There's you can go out any night and have a good time, but it's also a slower pace and it's less hype going on in regards to like celebrities being here, come connect over here, or artists over here that you want to work with type thing. So um, no paparazzi. It's not stuff like that, you know. So in LA or New York or even Miami, sometimes you kind of get that kind of feel. And so if you can detach from that, it's creative and networking. Because sometimes in networking you can overdo it. You know what I mean? And Houston is really smack dab in the middle of the country. Like I can get to anywhere in like 2 hours, 3 hours. So it's pretty good.
Nice.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Danielle,
I
you
haven't
got
spent a lot of time in Houston, but spent some time in Dallas and
Dallas is cool too. Dallas is cool too. Austin's cool too. I mean, I like Texas thus far. It's really not too much that I haven't experienced that I don't like. It's just the best part is being right here in the middle of the country and being able to get anywhere, in a good time.
how does your family feel about you remixing this music for your granddaddy?
No pushback, it's all love, it's all support. Essentially they get the publishing for it. So they're not they're not upset about that at all. The more music that comes out, the more like Granddaddy's song was just in the Levi's commercial at the Super Bowl. So, that's all a part of publishing. That's all a part of sync.
So are you like the cool uncle?
No, I am not an uncle. I would say that I'm more of the dad now. Me, my wife, and my son, he's 3. So
Oh.
I'm dad vibes.
Is he about the DJing? I know he's 3, but I've seen some 3-year-olds starting to want to get involved in that
He's
type of
not there yet. We're still running around having too much fun.
What's
Yeah, we're
life
still
like?
throwing the ball around.
There you go. What's
Mhm.
life like with you trying to manage both your passion and your love for music and your family?
It was definitely a learning experience and a curve. It's not that I can go all the time. I'm only at this point restricted to weekends, restricted to a babysitter, restricted to a grandma or grandpa or uncle or auntie being in town to watch him. Somebody that can babysit him. And if me and my wife can go, or if I'm going solo, it's a change, but it's a part of the business so long as the deal is making sense and the flights and the hotel or the stay is making sense, you can do the gig, so most gigs pop off on the weekend anyway. But if I was just like single in a major city like I was 10 years ago, I would probably be out every night. It wouldn't matter.
It's crazy. And where we are, I'm starting to see people do things on Tuesdays, Wednesdays. Thursdays have been a while. Like music has popped off on Thursdays on
Mhm.
years now, but now I'm starting to see Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And I know that New York is big into every single night of the night, except every single day of the week, except for Monday, because
Mhm.
that's their service night. But I like seeing that there's more music that's happening on a more constant basis. And it allows for those creatives such as yourself to be able to express themselves, not just on the weekends and fighting against a time slot or an opportunity against 10 other people. You've got 5 days to choose from, or even 6 days to choose from to do that.
Right, right. Yeah, I mean that's how you feed the industry. That's when you know that the industry's picking up and people are getting more opportunities to throw their own events and express themselves in this artistic way. I
Mhm.
mean, we already know that there's 100 million more DJs now in the world.
yeah,
So
Yeah.
everyone's. But guess what? There's still enough stages for everybody to play and give it a shot.
100%, man.
Well said.
Mhm.
100%. Well, thank you, Jason, so much for joining us. Is there anything that you have that you want to give to the community? Anything you want to say to the community about what you're doing and where you're going with everything?
Yeah, so my mother started the James Brown Family Foundation and the James Brown Academy of Music, where we teach kids how to play instruments through my granddad's music from ages 4 to 18. Shouts out to her. She's been the backbone of the whole legacy structure, and how granddaddy wanted things is how we should do things. And so I model that from her. But from a third generation person in a legacy like this, or someone that's just been famous or known for something, it doesn't have to be. It's not. Everyone has a legacy. It doesn't take fame. It doesn't take music. It just takes all of us following through and some things that our family is known for, right? Or something that we can be proud about, or you start your own legacy. But I'm proof that it's important and that it can last a while. And that's third generation is nothing. There's 12th generation factory families. There's 12th generations like jewelry families. So it's a everyone's got a legacy. You just got to tap into it, whether you're in one or you're starting one.
But I love that you're doing your part to keep it going. It's really exciting to see, and I can't wait to see where you're going with everything, all the Carl Cox remixes, Laidback
Mhm.
Luke, the Redux Saints, all of those remixes, I'm telling you, are going to pop off. Those guys are hot, they're hitters, and they just don't miss. So,
We got one more with Carl Cox. It's a real dope techno version to say it loud.
I love techno.
Yeah. So when he sent this one, I was like, it's great, it's amazing, but uh, I don't know if it's something that you would really play in your sets. Like it was one of those tracks where he remade the track and like respected it and tributed,
Mhm.
so it was good. Don't get me wrong. But like I said, the project is to put Granddaddy into the future. And so once he delivered the techno version, it was like a grand slam, you know. So we're
Wow.
thankful to the legend for rocking with us on 2 remixes because man, it just means a lot more. It just means it's going to get played more. The project expands more, and we got lucky. Carl Cox couldn't get any better. He was a nice guy. I had dinner with him, met him at one of his shows. We were able to knock this out. His team they're the best. Um, I really appreciate the guy. And Laidback Luke, the whole Dim Max squad. And shouts out to him and his family. He's doing it too. His son's got some stuff. Marlon, his wife does his business. It's all about, and I'm learning from him. I call him Sensei, so that's my guy, and I really appreciate the guy.
Sensei
He's
Luke.
really the one that kicked it off, to be honest with you. Like they say, how they say he discovered people. He's really he's the wizard at discovering people.
Awesome.
Mhm.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us on Houseology Live. We can't wait to air this and get the word out even more. Um, and we're just happy to be a part of such a cultural phenomena. So thank you.
Thank y'all. I really appreciate you having me on the show, interview. Can't wait till you guys drop it. Send it to me, and I'll send you guys the content we were talking about. You just got to remind me.
I will, absolutely.
Can we
Thank
get some information on how people can follow you, get maybe even be a part of the foundation, or if there's somebody locally there that might want to take some of the classes that's within your family foundation, the academy?
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. One more thing that I got to plug is the James Brown Family Historical Tour. And so we're about to partner with Primary Wave in uh, opening his home. My mother's already established a tour that toured areas where Granddaddy grew up, and a house that the whole family's lived in, which was his father's house, my great granddad's house, Pop's house. And so everybody in the whole family's lived there at some point. And so it's amazing that we still have that house in Augusta, but we're now about to open up Granddaddy's house, and possibly another big secret that I can't talk about. But that's what I had to plug. Mom started the James Brown Family Foundation. I'm an Instagram guy. I don't really do X or Twitter or Facebook like that anymore. So I just like to post and keep it moving. Picture says
What's your
1,000 hertz.
your social media handles?
I'm Jason Brown Legacy, and Beatport Jason Brown JB, and find me there. Play some of
Are
the
you on
music.
YouTube?
YouTube. I'm not. I got to redo my YouTube page because I used to be a gamer, and
Oh.
I would play like FPSs all day, and I would also make movies on like video games. You know how like you can just go into spectate and record it. I would make movies with my homies as a kid, and so that's the only shit that was up there. And then some films from college, like some of my short films. So it's kind of like I gotta start a whole new one that's just for my DJing. Thanks for telling me that.
I think I gave you a couple reminders on this interview.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah.
Yes. All right,
Well,
guys.
y'all, thank you. I really
It's a
do appreciate it.
pleasure.
And if
No, thank you.
y'all keep me posted when it's coming out. Can't wait.
Absolutely. You guys heard it first from Jason Brown, the grandson of James Brown. Thank you so much for tuning in with us, and we'll see you next time.
Wrapping it up for this week's show. Tune in next Monday at 6 p.m. for the best up-to-date info on EDM news, culture, and gossip on the Houseology live show.
Humble House Radio.